Hi there, how are you today? My name is Sashka and welcome to my crooked little house. So anyway, today is December 7th. It is a Sunday and it is cold and wintry here. How is it where you are? Please feel free to stop in the episode thread on my Ravelry group, which is called My Little House, and let me know. I'd love to hear how you're doing and what the weather's like, especially if it's warm and balmy and tropical. Well, okay, not even if it's hot. I'd love to hear how you're doing, and I'd love to hear how the weather is at your house. And I'd especially love to hear how you're coping if you have winter conditions like we have. So the last 2 weeks have been pretty uneventful for me. Just busy at work. Haven't done a whole lot of knitting, especially at work, because pretty exhausted by the end of the day. So I just end up going back to my little camp room and chilling out, maybe listening to a book for a little while. Trying, if I do any knitting at all, it's like mindless knitting, sock knitting or something like that. So it's been pretty quiet, but I had a really nice surprise this week. I came home from work and I received my very first grandma letter. So here is that envelope. Isn't that exciting? To Grandma. It's covered in stickers. My granddaughter loves stickers, and I think that most 3-year-olds do. And I got a beautifully colored Hello Kitty, which I will be taking to work and pinning it on the wall in my room so I can look at it every day and be reminded of my granddaughter. So that was very exciting, and I will be keeping this envelope obviously for the rest of my days in the special envelope box, which everyone has, don't they? So that was the highlight of my week. It was really nice to come home, and my husband had placed it right in the middle of the table, so it would be the first thing that I saw, which was very thoughtful of him. So I don't know if that was accidental or if he did that on purpose, but it was very nice of him. So, finished objects. So I finished my cascade sweater for the previously mentioned granddaughter. So here it is. This is a free pattern designed by Rhea Budrovich. I made the largest size, just a size 6. I used this yarn, which is Comfort Sock and Wool, and yes, it is a sock yarn, and I held it double. I used just over 2 balls of yarn for the whole thing, and I had bought 4, and I have just almost a full ball left over, and I made another project. So this was really nice pattern. It was well written. It's knit from the top down, and the design feature is this pretty leaf detail right along the front. You can see it right here. It's knit in as you go, and so you separate and you do the sleeves. I love the ribbing is like a broken ribbing. Well, it is a broken ribbing. It's not like a broken ribbing. It is one. And I went into my button jar, and because the sock wool turned out to be like a pretty mottled, tweedy, rusticy looking, I found a bunch of mismatched purpley pinkish buttons that matched all the yarn. You can see them here. And I just love the way it turned out. I really like it. It's soft and smooshy because it's sock yarn, it's washable. So I think sock yarn is a perfect option for knitting for children because it comes in so many wonderful colors. It's so nice to knit with. You can double it, you can triple it. It's inexpensive, it's easy to come by. So this will be packaged up and mailed to my granddaughter for her Christmas present. So I'm very happy with it. Very happy. So I knit this on US size 7, 4.5 needles. I knit it on circular needles. It is not knit circularly. It is cardigan, but I knit almost everything on circular needles. So really loved it. So that is one finished object. It was actually finished a week ago, but it took me a week to weave in the ends and sew the buttons on. So another object, I just finished it this morning, is my Montague Street Cowl. So this, I knit this for the gift along, which is being held on Ravelry. So this is designed by Nina Macklin Dayton. So it's a paid for pattern. It is a cowl. It's a mitered square pattern, all in garter stitch, so it's very simple. There's lots of picking up, but very simple to do. I used the same sock yarn, and I used this Lana Grossa Champion 2, which is the second color, so the contrast color. I love how it turned out. It looks kind of like a, to me, it has this southwestern Mexican-y kind of look to it. It's mushy and soft. It's purple, which I love. It'll match my coat, and our winters are really long here, so I think that it is going to make me really happy for the winter, like when I really need some brightening up. So it's mushy and soft, and I can double it up here like this. When I need some warmth around my neck, I really, really like it. So I also, because of all the colors in it, I had a lot of trouble choosing what buttons, so I went with the same thing, and I chose a whole bunch of mismatched buttons to pick up all the colors, and I really like how it turned out. It's really comfortable. It feels good. I don't think it's too bright. My husband thinks it's bright, but I don't think it's too bright. It is bright, but not too bright. I'm really happy with it. The pattern was really easy to follow. Very well written. I ended up following the written instructions because I could just mark off the rows as I went rather than the charted, so it has both written and charted. And again, I held the yarn double, so very happy with it. So anyway, I would highly recommend both of these patterns. So I did not work on my socks for my daughter. Oh, I did work on my ladies' gaugeless cardigan, but I did not bring it over here. So basically it's grown about 4 inches. Because it is on small needles, I still have not separated for the sleeves. But I'm enjoying knitting it. I mean, it's just knitting on one side and purling on the other side. Increases on the stocking knit side. I'm looking forward to separating for the sleeves. I think I'm going to keep, because it's quite a deep armhole, I think I'm going to keep it sleeveless so that I can wear something underneath and keep it. I'm going to make it big so it's kind of loose and baggy, and you can just throw it over things. It is made out of Angora. Not Angora, what am I talking about? It's out of alpaca. So I will want to wear it over something, and it's going to be kind of warm, so I don't want it to be, I want to keep it loose. I'm enjoying it. It's my pick it up when I'm tired and I don't want to think about what I'm knitting, what I'm doing knitting. So I've been working on that quite a bit this weekend. I do have a couple things that I started in the last week. This is a secret project that I will put the details on my page, but I'll just quickly show you. This is a Christmas present for somebody. And I'm making it out of this. So I'll put it away now. And I'll put the details on the show notes. And I'll show you those when they get more done. I'm enjoying that a lot. I work on that at work. And the other thing I'm making is the leafy washcloth by Making Goodacre. And I'm sorry I don't have the pattern printed out, but this is what it looks like. If you're on Ravelry, you've seen it because it keeps showing up in the, what do you call it, on the Hot Right Now, or in your, it keeps showing up all over the place. It's basically a cotton washcloth shaped like a leaf. I haven't blocked it yet, so it's kind of got a bump in the middle. It does that because of the way that increases and the decreases are. So I made 2 of these last night in like less than half an hour for 2. So I got 2. I guess these are finished objects, except for the blocking. I'm calling them works in progress because I'm making a whole bunch of them. And this is what's left of the first skein. I weighed it and there's not enough to make another one. And I have 4 balls. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to make as many as I can, and then with the leftovers I'll make something smaller or something else. And I've got multicolored balls and white ones, so I'll make things that go with it, like companion things, and I'm making like little bath sets or something like that. But they went really quickly and they were fun to knit, so probably be my mindless, if I have 15 minutes I'll just knit a leaf knitting. So that's my other work in progress. So it's going pretty well, and they're kind of fun. And these have been on my list of things to knit for 5 years. Maybe not 5 years, maybe 3 years, but a long time. And I'm finally doing them, so I'm pretty happy that I'm doing them. And they'll make really nice face cloths. Like they don't look, the green is not as bright as the camera's picking it up to be. I don't know how bright this is going to be on your computer screen, but it's not this bright. It's sort of a apple green, not a acid green, like, yeah. But anyway, I'm knitting those on 4.5mm straight needles. So they do have some make ones in them, so I don't know if they'd be suitable for a beginner. But, I mean, you could use yarn overs, and then a beginner could do them. Or, I mean, if you were going to show a beginner the first time you made a make one, then you'd know how to do them. But they're not hard at all, so probably suitable enough for a beginner. So I'll just tell you about my books, and then I'll show you some yarn, because I have a sickness. And then that'll be everything. So I did you guys order some yarn from Knit Picks on Cyber Monday? Well, actually it was Cyber Monday week, because the sale went on for a whole week. So I went on, I didn't know that. So I waited for Cyber Monday and I had it all planned out, and I ordered some yarn. And I was pretty good. I restrained myself. I ordered some yarn to dye, and I ordered some a sweater weight for my husband, and I was pretty good. I restrained myself pretty well. And then I went back before the end of the week, and I ordered some more. In fact, I ordered more than I did the first time, so I have two shipments of yarn. So the yarn I just bought this weekend, and the yarn that's going from Knit Picks, is the last yarn I'm going to buy until the end of next year. So if I get yarn in the next year, it's going to be either from a yarn company that is providing yarn support for design, or it was gifted. And if you saw all the yarn I have, and if you look in my stash, you'll see that there's a lot of yarn there. So I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm publicly saying this: I am not buying any yarn now for at least a year. I'm going to knit from my stash. So publicly I'm saying that. and I'm not crossing my fingers or my toes or any other part of my body. So anyway, and my husband can hear me. He heard me say that. So no yarn purchases, and I'm going to use up my stash. And I'm cooking hot in this cowl. So anyway, that's good to know that this is nice and warm. Okay, so books. I finished reading Black Diamond by by Martin Walker, which was a Bruno book, which was good. And I needed a break from Bruno because I was gaining some weight. They talk about cooking a lot, and now I really want to try some truffles. Have you guys tried truffles? I wonder what they taste like. From the books, I think they're kind of earthy tasting mushrooms. I don't know if I like them. I mean, they make them sound like they're really, really good, but I don't know if I would like them. But I think I'd like to try them at least one time. I mean, you should try everything before you say you're not going to like them, right? So, except they sound really expensive. But so I finished that book. And then I read a book that I have heard a lot about, and I thought it was called A Man Called Ove. It's a Swedish book that's been translated into a lot of different languages. It's actually, my friend has told me, A Man Called Ova, or Ova, by Frederick Backman. It is such a nice book. I would recommend this book to everyone, in every, say from teenagers up. In fact, I have put this on my as my next pick for our book club reading list. It really makes you think. It really makes me think, or reminds me, that everybody has a story, and that we can't just take people at face value. When you just sort of know someone only from casual contact, or maybe only meet them one time, say in an encounter in a shop or a store or something, and it's a little bit not fluffy, and it's not romantic, but there's a bit of an emotional attachment to this book, and I think that everybody should read a book like this, and I think that this is a good book to read. So I really, really recommend it. I'm going to recommend it to everybody that I know to read it. It didn't take very long to read. I think I read it in 2 nights, and part of that is because I didn't want to put it down. I really became attached to this man called Ova, and I think I saw it in Munro Books in Victoria, but I ended up downloading it and I read it. Very good book. And currently I am reading a book called Cold Granite by Stuart McBride. It is a detective series. This is the first one, set in Aberdeen, Scotland. And I am also really enjoying it. I'm reading it very quickly. It's very hard to put down. It's very suspenseful. It's not really a thriller. It is definitely a detective story. But you want to keep reading it because you want to know what happens. So I'm enjoying it very much, and I'm looking forward to reading more by him. So that one I'm almost finished, so I'll be getting ready to read another book, and I haven't decided what one I'm going to read next. And audiobooks. So I actually listen to my audiobooks in Overdrive, and our library system here in British Columbia, we can download electronic books, ebooks, and we can listen to them or we can read them. They have lots available in both formats. So we can borrow them for periods up to 21 days, and that's where I get all my books to listen to. And there's like a huge variety, so you just have to be a member of a library in British Columbia that subscribes to this service. And it's wonderful because then I can like listen to these books when I'm on a long car ride or at work. And you don't have to buy them where, you know, on, I think it's Audible or something like that, you can buy the books and listen to them. And the advantage there is that you own them, but I've never listened to a book more than one time, so for me this is perfect. So I've just finished listening to Mysterioso by Arne Dahl, and that was a Swedish mystery translated into English. And I went back and I looked because I know that this is the first book in a series and they did not have the next one. So I'm anxiously waiting for another one. And while I was waiting, I decided to try a book by, I think it's called Peter Aspa. He's Belgian. My husband and I had a discussion about this. What do you call somebody who's from Belgium? And I came up with Belgish, which was wrong. He is from Belgium. It's translated into English and it's called The Square of Revenge. So I just started listening to that one yesterday. I'm enjoying it. So those are the books. You can obviously tell what kind of books I like, but enjoying those books. I will put the details on my show notes if you are interested in reading any of those. And yes, I do have more yarn. I have a sickness. Anyway, I'm getting strange looks from across the room. So I will get out the yarn. Okay, so this is 6-ply sock yarn, which I have never tried before. And I got 2 balls because I'm not going to make socks out of them. I'm going to make a shawl out of this. It's by Furnerwall from Austria. I cannot pronounce this. It says Lungwar Sockenwall 6-Fack. I did not mean to say a bad word. 6-Fack. Anyway, it's 6-ply sock wool. It's 75% virgin wool superwash, 25% polyamide, which is nylon. There's 150 grams, so there's 420 meters in each ball. So I have 840 meters, which is lots and lots and lots of yarn. And it's this beautiful fawn colored beiges, if you can't see it really well on the monitor, which is beautiful. So I've bought 2 of those, and I'm going to hold that single because it's 6-ply. And I got a ball of a Big Delight by Drops, 100% wool for a hat. Now, I know I bought some of this before and I have not knit it yet. The reason I bought this ball is because it matches a scarf that I made a couple years ago out of a Zauber ball. It doesn't match exactly. It's got the purples and the sort of turquoise blues in it and blacky dark navy, but it's close enough, and I love that scarf. I just made I think it's called the One Row Scarf by Stephanie Pearl McPhee. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'll put it in the show notes. So I really like my capuchin hat, which I've been wearing all week. So I'm going to make one of those out of this. And the last thing I got is more sock yarn. This is Hot Socks Artist by by 4 Seasons. It is 75% superwash virgin wool, 25% polyamide, which is nylon, and it's these beautiful autumny browns, reds, rusty browns. So I bought not 1, not 2, 4 of these, and I will be holding them together and making something smooshy and gartery, but I have not decided yet what I'm making. So that's lots and lots of yarn, and they're beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful. And they're my color. So anyway, these are like the penultimate yarn purchases of the year. So I hope you guys all have a really good week. I will talk to you next week. Stay safe and warm, and happy knitting. Bye now.